Sometimes I can vaguely remember the epoch, but often they I'll think something is from the 1920s, but it was from the 1820s or something like that.
It kind of didn't really fade. It kind of became subsumed by later poetry. But they wanted more. But
Yeah.
they can still stand. It's
That,
a matter of what you want.
yeah. It sounds like it was around the time of people doing abstract.
Yeah. Kind of that big
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and poetry basically is
A lot of the a lot of it, I think we say it's copying, but I think of it as cross fertilization.
yeah, that's a
Yeah,
wonderful way.
yeah. I mean, to me, because people were listening to each other, and a lot of like psychology and also mysticism was getting involved. I mean, it was like science was coming of its own, but we tend to downplay how much mystics were driving science. And, and most people like seem to be almost, they think it's antithetical, but the original people who were like scientists, they were more like trying to like turn metals into gold and stuff like that, and the ideas that they had really were more like, the early mystics in terms of, like the ethers and stuff like that. Until people said, well, yeah, well, Frank said this, Joe said that, Mary says this, but we need something to like, if we're going to have a discussion, we have to have like a lingua franca. We have to have like, if I'm going to accept this as true, if I'm going to accept this as true, then I have to have something more than, oh, I like this guy, he's my friend,
Yeah.
you know, and out of that, we got science.
Fruit of the Flower by County Cullen.
Rust by Larry Mercado Castillo.
Mother to Son by Langston Hughes.
The Light of Stars by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
Welcome to the 2025 South Dakota State
The Light of Stars by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
Welcome to the 2025-2026 South Dakota Poetry Out Loud State Finals. We are very happy to have 5 finalists here who will come up on the stage and recite their poems for us. And the winner will go on to Washington, D.C. at the very end of April. We also have the winner of our original poetry contest here who will be reciting her poems as well. My name is Ann Vollen, and I'm the coordinator for the South Dakota Poetry Out Loud contest. I work with Patrick Baker out of the South Dakota Arts Council, and we have a few other people here who will be introduced very soon. But in the meantime, thank you again for being here. Enjoy the poetry, and then at the very end, we'll have snacks and time for nice conversations. We have a wonderful MC who's going to get things started for us right away. So if you want to take it away for us, Lawrence Diggs. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lawrence Diggs, your MC for today, and welcome to the 2025-26 South Dakota Poetry Out Loud State Finals Competition. Poetry Out Loud is a national program designed to introduce students to poetry through the memorization and recitation of poems. Memorizing poems, reading them over and over again, understanding that the poet chooses words carefully with a specific intent, and saying the words out loud from memory helps to internalize and shine light on the emotion behind the poem. Reciting the memorized poem to an audience helps to focus the poet's words through the student's voice and experience. This visceral experience with poems can lead to a lifelong love of poetry, which can help all of us understand and connect to the beauty and the tragedy of our world a little better. Poetry Out Loud is a program designed and supported by the National Endowment for the Arts and at the national level. They provide funding to the South Dakota Arts Council to carry out the programming in our state, with the support from our partners at Arts South Dakota and the South Dakota Public Broadcasting. We'd like to thank them all for working with us to bring Poetry Out Loud to South Dakota. Now it's time to introduce our esteemed panel of judges, whose scores will determine which of these students will be named South Dakota's state champion and advance to the Poetry Out Loud National Finals, where they will compete for $20,000 in cash prizes. First is Debbie Jones. Would you raise your hand or wiggle your ears or whatever? Debbie Jones is an actor, director, and choreographer in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. She graduated with degrees in communication studies and theater and English as well from the University of Sioux Falls. She also studied with the Stella Adler Studio of Acting in New York City. She has performed with several regional theater companies in Minnesota and South Dakota, and is a founding member of Improv Sioux Falls. She is the executive director of Monstrous Little Theater Company, and she works full-time at the Washington Pavilion as the senior program specialist of Spotlight Theater Company, formerly Dakota Academy of Performing Arts. In her free time, she loves travel, she loves drinking coffee, and she likes to read. Our next judge is Tatiana Chance. Tatiana, you raise your hand. And she is a dedicated Black youth activist, nonprofit leader, and advocate of the reproductive justice, advocate for reproductive justice with deep roots in her community. Tatiana has a passion for working to restore abortion access to religiously motivated banned
that of the religious motivated band in her state. Tatiana holds degrees in elementary education and theater from Augustana University, blending her passion with education, storytelling, and advocacy. With her deep knowledge, skills, and strong local relationships, she continues to be a vital resource for abortion advocates, interfaith leaders, and youth activists working toward reproductive justice. Our next judge is Joshua Rudnick. Joshua, would you raise your hand? Joshua is an educator, poet, and he was raised in the Black Hills of South Dakota and the Eastern Plains of Colorado, with landscapes that continually inform and inspire his professional and creative work. He was recently selected to the center. Selected as the Center of the Book Director with the South Dakota Humanities Council, and most recently taught courses in American Indian Studies at South Dakota State University. He earned his PhD degree in creative literature studies, and he has a master's in English from the University of South Dakota. He also has a BA in English from the Metropolitan State University of Denver, and Joshua has committed to connecting books, literature, and the humanities to communities across South Dakota through collaboration with educators, tribal communities, and statewide partners. He is an avid reader of Cat Dad and a Lego enthusiast. Our accuracy judge for this competition is Ann Volin. You just met her. Dr. Volin is the coordinator for the South Dakota State Poetry Out Loud program. Her studies in poetry focuses on the sonnet, William Carlos Williams, and the Imagist movement. She has recently served as the executive director of the South Dakota Humanities Council. Our scorekeeper for today is Ashley Boone. Ashley. And she's providing the assistance for the South Dakota Arts Council. We're hosting 5 state finalists for today's competition. I'm going to introduce them with their teachers right now. They're listed in the random order that they will be presenting today. First, from the St. Francis Indian School is Gabriel Catilogo. Could you raise your hand, Gabriel, so we know who you are? Okay. And he's accompanied by his mother, Ann Catilogo. From Little Wound High School, we have Nicholas Yellowboy, and he's accompanied by his teacher, Daniel Sneathen. From Sioux Falls Jefferson High School, we have Adam Hiroe. Adam? And she's accompanied by Caden Hokie. Okay, great. Washington High School has sent Damian Dean, and Damian is accompanied by Michelle McIntyre. Brookings High School has sent Madge McCullough, and she's accompanied by, I think I got this right, Carrie Orlog? Orlog, okay. In conjunction with the Poetry Out Loud resuscitation competition, we also hold a original poetry contest. After round 1 and round 2 of today's competition, we will hear from the student who has won both the runner-up and the first prize for original poetry. She is Ladies Mercado Castillo. Would you raise your hand, ladies? And she's also taught by Caden Hokie. We're all excited to hear the students recite poems, and we'll get to that soon. But first, I want to take a few minutes to provide an overview for today's events. Today, we'll hear recitation from our 5 state finalists. Each student will recite 3 poems throughout 3 separate rounds of competition. Students will select their poems from an online, and they have selected their poems from an online anthology of more than 1,000 poems. Our judges will give numerical ratings to each recitation in 5 criteria: physical presence, voice and articulation, dramatic appropriateness, evidence of understanding, and overall performance. Accuracy is judged separately. Dr. Volin will follow along with each poem and mark missed and incorrect words during the recitation with deductions for each. If a contestant needs to be prompted, points will also be deducted. It's best for the students not to receive a prompt because each prompt will result in 3-point accuracy deductions per judge. So students, if you feel that you can't remember the next line, just take a moment and take a breath and try to get yourself back on track. If you still can't remember, please make eye contact with Dr. Volin and give her a nod so she knows for certain that you need to be prompted, and then she'll say the next line. You guys all got that? Okay. Note that all overall performance and accuracy are weighted slightly more than the other scoring criteria. Students, as you take the stage today, please follow the contest guidelines. State the name of the poem, the name of the poet, and begin your memorized recitation. Now, let's get started with round 1. Our first poet is Gabriel Gatilogo.
The Light of Stars by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The night is come, but not too soon, and sinking silently, all silently the little moon drops down behind the sky. There is no light in earth or in heaven, but the cold light of stars. And the first watch of night is given to the red planet Mars. Is it the tender star of love? The star of love and dreams? Oh no, from that blue tent above, our hero's armor gleams. And earnest thoughts within me rise when I behold afar, suspended in the evening skies, the shield of that red star. O star of strength, I see thee stand and smile upon my pain. Thou beckonest with thy mallet hand, and I am strong again. Within my breast there is no light, but the cold light of stars. I give the first watch of the night to the red planet Mars. The star of the unconquered will, he rises in my breast, serene and resolute and still. and calm and self-possessed. And thou, too, whosoever thou art, that readest this brief psalm, as one by one thy hopes depart, be resolute and calm. Oh, fear not in a world like this, and thou shalt know ere long, know how sublime a thing it is to suffer and be strong.
Our next poet is Nicholas Yellowboy. Oh, just a moment, we have to get our scores. Okay, now we'll continue. Nicholas Yellowboy.
Ships That Pass in the Night by Paul Lawrence Dunbar. Out in the sky, the great dark clouds are massing. I look far out into the pregnant night, where I can hear a solemn booming gun and catch the gleaming of a random light that tells me that the ship I seek is passing. Passing. My tearful eyes, my soul's deep hurt are glassing, for I would hail and check that ship of ships. I stretch my hands imploring, cry aloud, my voice falls dead a foot from mine own lips. And but its ghost doth reach that vessel. Passing, passing. Oh, earth. Oh, sky. Oh, ocean. Both surpassing. Oh, heart of mine. Oh, soul that treads the dark. Is there no hope for me? Is there no way that I may sight and check that speeding bark, which out of sight and sound is passing, passing?
Our next poet is Damian Dean.
Mother to Son by Langston Hughes. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor. Bare. But all the time, I's been a climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark, where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps, 'cause you find it's kinda hard. Don't you fall now, for I's still going, honey. I's still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair.
Our next poet is Adam Hiroi.
Fruit of the Flower by County Cullen. My father is a quiet man with sober, steady ways. For simile, a folded fan. His nights are like his days. My mother's life is Puritan, no hint of cavalier. A pool so calm, you're sure it can have little depth to fear. And yet, my father's eyes can boast how full his life has been. There haunts them yet the languid ghost of some still sacred sin. And though my mother chants of God and of the mystic river, I've seen a bit of checkered sod set all her flesh a quiver. Why should he deem it pure mischance a son of his is fain to do a naked tribal dance each time he hears the rain? Why should she think it devil's art that my songs should be of love and lovers, broken hearts, and wild, sweet agony? Who plants a seed begets a bud. Extract of that same root Why marvel at the hectic blood that flushes this wild fruit?
And our final poet for this round will be Mads McCullough.
Chicago by Carl Sandburg. Hog butcher for the world, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads and the nation's freight handler. Stormy, husky, brawling, city of the big shoulders. They tell me you are wicked, and I believe them, for I have seen your painted women luring the farm boys under the gas lamps. And they tell me you are crooked, and I answer, yes, it is true. I have seen the gunman kill and go free to kill again. And they tell me you are brutal. And my reply is, on the faces of women and children, I have seen the marks of wanton hunger. And having answered so, I turn once more to those who sneer at this, my city. I give them back the sneer and say to them, come and show me another city, with lifted head, singing so proud to be alive, and coarse, and strong, and cunning, flinging magnetic curses amid the toil of piling job on job. Here is a tall, bold slugger, set vivid against the little, soft cities. Fierce as a dog with tongue, lapping for action. Cunning as a savage pitted against the wilderness. Bareheaded, shoveling, wrecking, planning, building, breaking, rebuilding under the smoke, dust all over his mouth, laughing with white teeth. Under the terrible burden of destiny, laughing as a young man laughs. Laughing even as an ignorant fighter laughs who has never lost a battle. Bragging and laughing that under his wrist is the pulse, and under his ribs, the heart of the people. Laughing, laughing the stormy, husky, brawling laughter of youth, half naked, sweating, proud, to be hog butcher, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads, and freight handler to the nation.
that will conclude the first round. And while we prepare for or get ready for our next round, we're going to have Ladies Mercado Castillo to come up and give us a rendition of her poem that she wrote. It's an original poem, and that poem is the runner-up poem of that contest.
Rust. I loved her smile and her crooked teeth. Her smile was the March sunlight, her touch the chill of November winds. She never stopped, she always went. And just how the wind blows, that's how she left. She left me defeated. I had lost her touch. Her warmth faded like July, cold but not lost. As she had my heart wrapped in wires, she knew she was everything I desired. She was the oil to my creaks, the polish keeping me neat. Yet she removed my screws, leaving me forgotten and blue. Sitting here on this last day, watching the old year fly, seeing how fast time truly does pass by. And while I frame you as art, I gather my spare parts for a new start.
We will now begin round two. And once again, we will hear from Gabriel Gatilogo.
A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow, you're not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet, if hope has flown away in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep, while I weep. Oh God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? Oh God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream?
I think you're going to come back because I'm going to ask you some questions, right? Or is it after 30?
What
Oh,
are the
okay.
questions?
No, not after. I'm sorry. My mistake.
Oh, so not.
Yes, right. Okay. Our next poet will be Nicholas Yellowboy.
Mountain Pines by Robinson Jeffers. In scornful, upright loneliness they stand, counting themselves no kin of anything, whether of earth or sky. Their gnarled roots cling like wasted fingers of a clutching hand in the grim rock. A silent, spectral band. They watch the old sky, but hold no communing with aught. Only when some lone eagle's wing flaps past above their gray and desolate land, or when the wind pants up a rough-hewn glen, bending them down as with an age of thought, or when mid-flying clouds that cannot dull her constant light, the moon shines silver. Then they find a soul, and their dim moan is wrought into a singing, sad and beautiful.
And now we'll hear from Damian Dean.
The New Day by Fenton Johnson. From a vision red with war, I awoke and saw the Prince of Peace hovering over no man's land. Loud the whistles blew, and the thunder of cannon was drowned by the happy shouting of the people. From the Sinai that faces Armageddon, I heard this chant from the throats of white-robed angels. Blow your trumpets, little children, from the east and from the west, from the cities in the valley, from God's dwelling on the mountain. Blow your blast that peace might know. She is queen of God's great army. With the cry and blood of millions, we have written deep her name in the book of all the ages. With the lilies in the valley, with the roses by the Mersey, with the golden flower of Jersey, we have crowned her smooth young temples. Where her footsteps cease to falter, golden grain will greet the morning. Where her chariot descends, shall be broken down the altars of the gods of dark disturbance. Nevermore shall men know suffering. Nevermore shall women wailing shake to grief the God of heaven. From the east and from the west, from the cities in the valley, from gods dwelling on the mountain. Little children, blow your trumpets. From Ethiopia, groaning neath her heavy burdens, I heard the music of the old slave songs. I heard the wail of warriors, dusk brown, who grimly fought the fights of others in the trenches of Mars. I heard the plea of blood-stained men of dusk, and the crimson in my veins leapt furiously. Forget not, oh my brothers, how we fought in no man's land that peace might come again. Forget not, oh my brothers, how we gave red blood to save the freedom of the world. We were not free. Our tawny hands were tied. But Belgium's plight and Serbia's woes, we shared each rise of sun or setting of the moon. So when the bugle blast had called us forth, we went not like the surly brute of yore, but as the Spartan, proud to give the world the freedom that we never knew nor shared. These chains, oh brothers mine, have weighed us down as Samson in the temple of the gods. Unloosen them, and let us breathe the air that makes the goldenrod the flower of Christ. For we have been with thee in no man's land, through lake of fire and down to hell itself. And now we ask of thee our liberty, our freedom in the land of stars and stripes. I am glad that the Prince of Peace is hovering over no man's land.
Our next poet is Adam Hiroy.
Home, Sweet Home by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. Sharers of a common country, they had met in deadly strife. Men who should have been as brothers madly sought each other's life. In the silence of the even, when the cannon's lips were dumb, thoughts of home and all its loved ones to the soldier's heart would come. On the margin of a river, mid the evening's dews and damps, could be heard the sounds of music rising from two hostile camps. One was singing of its section down in Dixie, Dixie's land, and the other of the banner waved too long from strand to strand. In the lawn where Dixie's ensign floated o'er the hopeful slave rose the song that freedom's banner, starry lighted, long might wave. From the fields of strife and carnage, gentle thoughts began to roam, and a tender strain of music rose with the words of home, sweet home. Then the hearts of strong men melted, for amid our grief and sin still remains that touch of nature telling us we all are kin. In one grand but gentle chorus, floating to the starry dome, came the words that brought them nearer, words that told of home, sweet home. For a while, all strife forgotten, they were only brothers then, joining in the sweet old chorus, not as soldiers, but as men. Men whose hearts would flow together, though apart their feet might roam, found a tie they could not sever in the memory of each home. Never may the steps of carnage shake our land from shore to shore, but may mother, home, and heaven be our watchwords evermore.
For our final poem of this round, Miss Mads McCullough.
My Song by Joseph Seaman Cotter Sr. I sang me a song, a tiny song, a song that was sweet to my soul, and set it afloat on the sea of chance in search of a happy goal. I said to my song, go on, and lodge in a tender spot of some human soul where the fires of hate and selfishness are not. My song went on but a little space, and hied it back to me, and fell at my feet in a sorry plight, the victim of cruelty. I gazed a moment and quickly saw just how it had come about. A cruel critic had caught my song and probed the soul of it out. Oh, poor indeed is the human mind, and why was it ever wrought, that can thrive on husk in the form of words and not on a sturdy thought?
And that concludes our second round of poetry. And now, for our entertainment, we're going to have Ladies Mercado Castillo come back and give us her rendition of her first prize-winning poem.
Teach. My mind does not belong to you, yet you demand attention. Crack my skull open, pouring in your expertise that tastes like chalk and old pages to me, permanently marking me, lining my thoughts with thick red pens, ensuring that I do not bend or break the rules and get up ahead. You yell if I do not succeed, yet the path you seek is merely bleak to me. I don't want to be compressed into margins, crushed into rubrics, and cultivated only to perform. I want to be freed. But here I am, chained to a seat, wanting to speak, but lacking the authority to even breathe. The caged bird sings.
Ready? Got all the scores. Okay. We will now continue with our third round. And again, we bring up Gabriel Gatalogo.
A Time to Talk by Robert Frost. When a friend calls to me from the road and slows his horse to a meaning walk, I don't stand still and look around at all the hills I haven't hoed and shout from where I am, "What is it?" No, not as there is a time to talk. I thrust my hoe in the mellow ground, blade end up and 5 feet tall, and plod. I go up to the stone wall for a friendly visit.
Okay, this time I have questions for you.
Oh, yeah, sure. What is it? I would love to know. Wait, hold on. I need My apologies. My
What?
apologies. Hello? Okay, it works.
It still works.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Let's hear the questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, now
Let's
we're
go.
ready. So, you said that you enjoy doing things like being online with your friends and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think for many people, our question is, what do you get out of that? Tell us about, all of the things that you do, all the time that you spend. Tell us the value of that for you.
I'd say when it comes to like hanging out online is because most of my friends that I knew back home, because I'm from the Philippines, I don't, get to see them in person. So being online is a great tool to utilize so that you can connect for those that are far away, and not just mainly in the Philippines, not just in other countries, but also in different places, not just like maybe across the state, maybe across let's say a town that's like 5 hours long, 6 hours long, 3 hours, and that is why I usually do that most of the time. But what do I get from that is just more connection, really. Oh, hold on, let me tighten this up. More connection from just talking a lot more online. Because if I do it in person, of course, that's also a great tool. Because I usually want to talk in person more than I do online, but I put that there because now that I think about it, like for the past 6 weeks, all I've been doing is just calling my friends online, playing games with my friends, and just doing that for fun. Like I never really thought, there really didn't put too much thought about it. I just wrote with feeling because that's how I felt.
So I think you would take issue then with people who say that young people don't communicate anymore. All they're doing is staying online. What would be your response to that?
Well, yeah, that's a very common issue nowadays, is that people don't have the openness to talk to a lot of people now. And it's mainly because of a lot of things. There are a lot of fundamentals, factors to why they're acting the way they are now, especially socially. I have a lot of friends that were very antisocial. I don't want to name explicitly because they might get embarrassed or anything. But you guys get the point. At some point in everyone's life, you've met someone that just can't talk well or doesn't really fit in well. And wait, sorry, what was the question again? I actually forgot. I started blabbing for no reason and I actually forgot what the question was.
I think you actually answered it.
Did I actually did?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but wait, what was the question? I'm sorry.
The question was, would you take issue with, or how do you take issue with people who say that young people don't communicate anymore?
How would I fix that issue?
No. How to take issue mean if you would be, let's say, opposed to the idea that young people don't communicate anymore.
Well, that's it's true, but not all the time. There are a lot of people that are very social, but sometimes antisocial. It really is a complicated topic. You can't really say much about that. That's really complicated.
Okay.
It's really just ambiguous.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get you got them already? Okay. So, this. Okay, for our next poet, it will be again Nicholas Yellowboy.
The Days Gone by James Whitcomb Riley. Oh, the days gone by. Oh, the days gone by. The apples in the orchard and the pathway through the rye. The cheer up of the robin and the whistle of the quail as he piped across the meadows, sweet as any nightingale. When the bloom was on the clover, and the blue was in the sky, and my happy heart brimmed over in the days gone by. In the days gone by, when my naked feet were tripped by the honeysuckle's tangles, where the water lilies dipped, and the ripples of the river lipped the moss along the brink, where the placid-eyed and lazy-footed cattle came to drink, and the tilting snipe stood fearless of the truant's wayward cry, and the splashing of the swimmer in the days gone by. Oh, the days gone by. Oh, the days gone by. The music of the laughing lip, the luster of the eye, the childish faith in fairies, and Aladdin's magic ring, the simple, soul-reposing, glad belief in everything. When life was like a story, holding neither sob nor sigh, in the golden, olden glory of the days gone by.
One moment, please.
Right.
Okay, so
Okie
you just did a poem of Edgar Allan Poe. Tell me about what draws you to. Hold on a second.
I will say I love The Raven, nonetheless.
Okay. I'm sorry. That was. Oh, how did I get that?
I may or may not be a big
Okay.
Poe fan.
Oh, I see. What happened is I was reading one of your favorite poets is Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes.
What do you like about Edgar Allan Poe?
Wow. So first, it kind of started with my mom. My mom really likes Edgar Allan Poe, and eventually, when I started doing poetry, I really got into the way that he writes, and this is gonna sound kind of weird, how dark his poems can be. I really enjoy how dark and disturbing the poems are, and it really just gives me chills a lot of the times, but it's so fun to read, and the way that he speaks is just really awesome. I love the plot twists of the stories too. Amazing.
Are there other poets that you feel that are similar to Edgar Allan Poe?
Not that I know of. No.
Okay. And can you talk about any, let's say, impact that the kind of poems that you've read from him, any impact in your life?
I wouldn't really say so, but I will say it definitely got me into where I am now, like reading poetry, because I find reading poetry is probably one of my favorite things to do now. And yeah.
Okay, thanks. Our, did you get him? Oh. And now we'll hear from Adam Hirui. Is that? Oh, I'm sorry. Damien Deed. Sorry.
Ships That Pass in the Night by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Out in the sky, the great dark clouds are massing. I look far out into the pregnant night, where I can hear a solemn booming gun and catch the gleaming of a random light that tells me that the ship I seek is passing. my tearful eyes, my soul's deep hurt are glassing. For I would hail and check that ship of ships. I stretch my hands, imploring, cry aloud. My voice falls dead a foot from mine own lips, and but its ghost doth reach that vessel, passing, passing. O earth, O sky, O ocean, both surpassing. O heart of mine, O soul that dreads the dark. Is there no hope for me? Is there no way that I may sight and check that speeding bark which out of sight and sound is passing, passing?
You can't escape the interrogation. So you have,
Oh, I'm getting there. Hold on. Okay, I'm ready.
where do you find your voice for your delivery of your poem?
Um, Well, I'm like a big TV show watcher. Like, I love watching TV shows. I will sit in my room for days just watching TV shows, even when I'm supposed to do homework. And I get a lot of my inspiration from like one of my favorite actors that I see without my TV shows. Like, for example, Issa Rae, if you don't know her. Love that girl down. And yeah, there's just a lot of actors that inspire me to be who I am as a speaker in regards of poems or just in speech and debate.
And who is your favorite poet and why?
Maya Angelou. I love that girl. I love that woman. Yeah. She produces poems that just like get to your heart, you know? And if you guys watch Medea, like, yeah, Maya Angelou just eats down everywhere when she's mentioned. Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about how your family influences your presentation?
Yeah. So outside of this, I do speech and debate, and I've written oratories about my mother and her experiences, like like coming to America. I've also written about my like brother-in-law and how these current things are happening in Minneapolis, like the ICE raids and everything. It would affect my side of the family, and I really just go into depth with how my family kind of impacts the way I am as a person and what I try to fight for as a speaker or activist. So yeah.
Thanks a whole bunch. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And now, Adam Hiroi.
If I Had Known by Alice Moore Dunbar Nelson. If I had known 2 years ago how drear this life should be, and crowd upon itself all strangely sad, mayhap my lips would burst out into another song, overflowing with the happiness of future hopes. Mayhap another throb than that of joy have stirred my soul into its inmost depths. If I had known. If I had known the vain impotence of love, the vainness of a kiss, how barren a caress, mayhap my soul to higher things have soared, nor clung to earthly loves and tender dreams. But ever up aloft into the blue empyrean, and there to master all the world of mind. If I had known.
How are you feeling?
Great.
Good.
Yeah.
So, how do your life, or how has your life experiences given you voice for the way you deliver poetry?
I would say coming from an immigrant family and as the eldest daughter of an African family, I think I've experienced my fair share of situations. I've traveled back home. I've seen what it's like for my family at home. I've seen how my parents have tried to navigate their lives here in America. And I think that what I try to do at least is to make something out of myself so that the sacrifices that were made for me to come to this point were worthwhile.
And how would you say that this experience and your involvement with poetry will help you going forward? What impact has it had that you think it will help you? How has this experience helped you?
Oh, absolutely. So I think that poetry has been my safe haven for expressing myself. I think since I also do compete in speech and debate as well, I've looked at a bunch of poetry before and I understand, and I like to find myself in pieces of writing that I find, or maybe even writing them myself. And I think that it's just a great vessel for you to show who you are, like your identity as a person, in an artistic way, a creative way, and show your talents and mesh that with your personal experiences.
Since you're from an immigrant family, do you speak another language beside English?
Yes, I do. I speak Amharic.
Okay, and are you familiar with Amharic poetry, and have you considered writing poetry, or do you write poetry in Amharic?
So Ethiopia actually does have a pretty rich culture in terms of like the arts. So they do have lots of poetry, like deep catalogs, and it's centuries old. We're talking here, but it's kind of difficult for me to venture out into that because my understanding of the Amharic script is pretty elementary level, and it's like difficult to read. So I like to ask my dad about things. He definitely understands way better than I do. So I try to get involved in that way, but other than that, I can't really write very much in Amharic, and understanding is pretty difficult, but I think it's a cool world to look into.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so now for our final poem of the third round, Mads McCullough.
Haunted Houses by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. All houses wherein men have lived and died are haunted houses. Through the open doors, the harmless phantoms on their errands glide, with feet that make no sound upon the floors. We meet them at the doorway, on the stair. Along the passages they come and go, impalpable impressions on the air, a sense of something moving to and fro. There are more guests at table than the hosts invited. The illuminated hall is thronged with quiet, inoffensive ghosts, as silent as the pictures on the wall. The stranger at my fireside cannot see the forms I see, nor hear the sounds I hear. He but perceives what is, while on to me all that has been is visible and clear. We have no title deeds to house or lands, owners and occupants of earlier dates, from graves forgotten stretch their dusty hands and hold in Mortmain still their old estates. The spirit world around this world of sense floats like an atmosphere, and everywhere wafts through these earthly mists and vapors dense, a vital breath of more ethereal air. Our little lives are kept in equipoise by opposite attractions and desires, the struggle of the instinct that enjoys and the more noble instinct that aspires. These perturbations, this perpetual jar of earthly wants and aspirations high, come from the influence of an unseen star, an undiscovered planet in our sky. And as the moon from some dark gate of cloud throws o'er the sea a floating bridge of light, across whose trembling planks our fancies crowd into the realm of mystery and night. So from the world of spirits there descends a bridge of light, connecting it with this, o'er whose unsteady floor that sways and bends, wander our thoughts above the dark abyss. I gotta stay up here. Has anyone else noticed this is kind of wobbly?
It's afraid of you.
It's a little bit.
So, how has this experience affected you? You know, the putting together, writing the poems, or writing poetry, preparing for the delivery, thinking about all of this. What impact has it had on you?
I would say, like, the Poetry Out Loud competition specifically has given me a lot more, like, it has developed my ability to have insight into more complex pieces of literature. I find that more, challenging works seem to be a bit more approachable because it kind of makes it accessible in the sense of if you take the time and to really understand the author and truly try to put yourself in their shoes of the wording and the rhythm and the meaning, you can really have a better understanding of the piece. And this is for this competition, but also I find for other books that I've read. I've been reading a lot of Jane Austen, and I'm like, if you kind of just put yourself into Jane Austen, you can kind of derive more meaning from it than I think just reading it.
Excellent. Can you talk about the way any particular poem has affected you? You talked about looking into other reading poems and stuff. How has that process affected you?
The process?
Yeah, in other words, the activity of looking into other poems, thinking about them, figuring out how you are going to say it and stuff like that. How has that affected you?
how has the process of looking into poems affected me? Well, it's really given me a lot of, honestly, confidence in my own ability. I think sometimes when you're diving into academia, it's a bit intimidating. So to be able to take the time to read these, like, I feel a bit like a stronger learner almost. I feel like I can approach harder like questions that aren't just in poetry. I feel just a bit like the process of it has given me a chance to develop my skills as a learner, and I'm really grateful for it.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we're going to take about 20 minutes and give all of the judges and everyone a chance to confirm their scores. And we have it, dun, 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 waiting for it, to see what all the suspense is about. So we'll take 20 minutes to just relax. I think there's at least the phantom of some refreshments over on the side. So have a chance to communicate with each other, and we'll see you back here in about 20 minutes.
The local news, Dakota News Now. I was gonna see if I can maybe interview someone really quick.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Would you? Can I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, sure.
Do it. Go in the back.
Okay, sure. Oh, how you doing, man?
I think everybody's a friend of yours.
Yeah.
We come from the same area of the state.
So what? Oh, it's going good, man. Yeah, yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
So you're the
MC.
question giver?
Oh, MC. Yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
Did you get some more snow up there?
It was pretty warm. It was kind of all melted off when I left yesterday. I came down yesterday, and it was, you know. I wouldn't say it's like thong and bikini weather, but yeah, I suppose. No, I mean, but yeah, I would say it was pretty good for this time of year.
I'm gonna take your picture and I'll send it to Patrick.
Oh, okay,
All right?
okay.
Yeah, I was kind of in between.
Which Patrick?
Huh?
Which Patrick?
Patrick Baker.
Oh, Baker. Okay, yeah, yeah. I know about 3 or 4 Patricks that's involved with it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was hoping to see him, but I guess he's probably busy.
His parents haven't done well.
Oh, really?
Patrick's parents haven't done well. And so he's actually had to be in the last week working from their home in the morning. Yeah, his dad has had some just physical issues and has fallen a few times. And his mom hasn't been physically well for a while. So I will. Yeah, yeah. So he's got all kinds of things going on at the same time. Yeah, he was hoping to be with you.
No, it's not. Oh,
Is it on now?
you gotta turn it on.
I think it's on now.
Okay.
If everyone's here, would you please take your seats so we can have our culminating moment of this Poetry Out Loud? Lawrence and I are going to work together to finalize the day. And I would like to, first of all, have our judges stand up so we can thank them. They got to listen to wonderful poetry, and how did you possibly figure out who's doing what in which particular way? So thank you for doing such careful work with all that. If we're going to announce the winners, and then we want to make sure everyone stays around for pictures, and we have some gifts to send home with both the teachers and the students, and maybe a few other people as well, because we have some wonderful Poetry Out Loud t-shirts, sweatshirts to share with everyone. So if you would, please.
For the runner-up for the original poetry contest, guess. So it's Leodes Mercado Castillo. And she's won $50, a $50 prize, and also her school has won $50. And stay up there because she also is the first place winner. So she like got the gold medal and the silver medal. And the prize for that is $100 for Leanna's. Okay. I know I can say that. and $100 for her school as well.
So for your runner-up, and for your school, for being for Jefferson High School. I mean, when you win this many awards, you have to assume that things are just going to be coming at you left and right. So for you being runner-up, and for your school, for you for your wonderful job as a first place winner, and for your school. Thank you so much.
And for the runner-up for the recitation, Edom Heroi. And her prize is $200, and for Jefferson High School, $100. And for the winner who gets a trip to the National with their advisor, the winner is Damian Dean. And Damian gets 200 and his school gets 500, so they should love him.
Even more than they already do.
Yeah. Let's give him a big hand.
Names around on these, so thank you. If we could have the other winners back up here too, please. We'll take a group picture of everybody.
Lawrence, you should come be in the picture too. How about all four of you? Or all five of you? English center. Want to get everybody up here? All of the.
We would love to have all the students up here now, please. This is a wonderful competition. We're so happy you're all here, and we just cannot wait to have all of you in this picture.
How did he do it last time?
all in the back.
There you go. Then you can get everybody in there. There we go.
We getting there?
Critiquing my photo ability. You guys are great.
Thank you so much. Well, let's move over to this little table so we can hand out some gifts to everybody, winners, participants, everyone who is here.
Hey, she's running away from us over there. Okay, so this one is for you, because you are the original poet. The rest of you can each get one of these, and there's nothing different about the pink one. And they do have different poetry books inside. So if you want to check them out and like trade or whatever, you're welcome to. Or if you're just like, I got the one, then that's awesome. Also, all of our teachers, if you would come up, we have some flowers for you. So we'd love for you to grab those. And then we do have the sweatshirts up here. We don't need to take any back with us. So if first we would love for our students to get one. If you already have one or there's not your size, sorry about that. These are the ones that are left over from last year. Otherwise, teachers should get one if